This is TechCrunch. The Biden administration proposes sweeping new restrictions on exporting AI chips. I'm Imran Sheikh, and it's now time for your Tuesday Daily Crunch, starting with three big headlines. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have joined the ranks of those displeased with Meta's changes to fact-checking and have released a statement saying that the changes directly undermines free speech. Meta's changes to its hateful content policies do not protect free expression, but instead foster an environment where abuse and hate speech silence and threaten the voices of whole communities who make up a healthy democracy, they wrote. Now, they also called out Meta's plans to abandon its DEI commitments. Meghan Markle rejoined Instagram a few weeks ago after deleting her social media accounts in 2018. She's said to have previously had constructive conversations with Meta execs about online safety after speaking about the online abuse she's faced since marrying Prince Harry. Mastodon CEO Eugene Rajko called the changes deeply troubling and a concern to anyone with a conscience. Michael McConnell, co-chair of Meta's Oversight Board, also expressed concern, adding that the Oversight Board was not consulted on the changes. E-commerce giant eBay has announced plans to acquire Caramel, a startup that helps car sellers and buyers complete the final steps of the transaction, including verification, financing, paperwork, ownership transfer, insurance, etc., etc. As eBay has grown through the years, it has had to evolve to remain competitive. Last year, for instance, the company removed seller fees in the UK to counter a new wave of marketplace startups. In the automotive realm specifically, eBay has acquired several startups to stay ahead of the curve, including advertising and marketing tech company Cargigi, as well as UK classified site motors.co.uk. Last month, eBay's old foe Amazon also entered the online car sales business with the launch of Amazon Autos in partnership with Hyundai. Now, while that is all about finding and buying new vehicles directly from the dealership, it's conceivable that Amazon could expand its scope to cover used vehicles in the future. Ultimately, eBay wants to ensure it remains a go-to channel for secure, speedy used car sales at a time when consumers have way more options than ever. And with a week left in office, President Joe Biden introduced a new set of guidelines and restrictions for exporting U.S.-made AI chips. On Monday, the administration announced its interim final rule on AI diffusion. This ruling is meant to provide clarity to allied and partner nations about how they can benefit from AI and streamline licensing hurdles for chip orders, according to a White House press release. But these rules also introduce new chip sale restrictions on the majority of countries in the world. These new guidelines split countries up into three groups, according to reporting from CNN. Now, the first group includes the U.S.'s strongest allies, like Japan and South Korea, which aren't affected by the new restrictions. The second group includes countries like China and Russia. Now, these countries already can't buy advanced AI chips and will now face further restrictions under the new guidelines regarding most closed AI models. The third group, which encompasses, most of the world, will now have caps on how many chips they can buy. The cap is set to 50,000 graphics processing units per country, but there are numerous ways a country can access a higher quota. This third group of countries that are neither the U.S.'s strongest allies nor enemies, which includes places like Mexico, Portugal, and Israel, among many others, are arguably the most affected by the changes, CNN reported. The restrictions on this group of countries are meant to prevent adversaries like China and Russia from buying chips through them, but will also hurt the adoption of AI in these countries in the process. NVIDIA, of course, released a statement Monday that called the proposed rules unprecedented and misguided, and added that they would derail innovation and economic growth worldwide. Let's now kick it over to producer Dennis with today's startup business news in about 1 minute.
Thank you, Imran. The rise of NVIDIA has spurred renewed investor interest in AI chip startups. One of them, Blaze, founded by former Intel engineers, is set to go public on the NASDAQ in an SPAC deal on Tuesday. Launched in 2011, Blaze has raised $335 million from investors like Samsung and Mercedes-Benz. It focuses on manufacturing AI chips for edge applications. Rather than being mostly used in vast data centers like NVIDIA's, its chips are meant to be integrated into smart products like security cameras, drones, and industrial robots. And Float Financial, an expense management and corporate card setup focused on the Canadian market, has raised $48.5 million in a Series B funding round. The Toronto-based fintech likens itself to US-based fintech giants Brex and Ramp, but says that it's different in that its sole focus is on Canadian SMBs, which Float Financial CEO and co-founder said are overlooked due to Canada's banking monopoly and tough economic climate. And that'll do it for me. Imran, back to you.
And that's your Daily Crunch. Today's stories were reported by Rebecca Shkutak, Paul Sowers, Dominic Midori-Davis, and more beautiful, lovely TechCrunch journalists. We'll see you here tomorrow, same tech time, same Crunch channel. And until then, find us at TechCrunch.com.